Hey everybody, I'm John Granado. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. You can see Josh's work at sportsmaphouston.com as well. Hit subscribe because we get a lot of Astros stuff right here at SportsMap HOU. MLB's first power ranking of the 2024 season is out. The Astros are at number 6. What do you think of that, considering how underwhelming this offseason has been, Josh?
I think it's probably about right when we look at the list and who's in front of them. I think basing the Astros on their strength was pitching these last few years, right? And they regressed. Also, in the bullpen's been one of their other strengths. They lost 3 guys that they haven't really replaced yet. So I think, when the outside looking in, you could see maybe the Astros won't quite be what they were, but the teams in front of them, the Braves, Dodgers, Orioles, they all won 100 games last year. The Rangers won the World Series. So I don't really have a problem with that. But it's funny about the offseason thing, right? Because you could argue that this current offseason will be better than last year's because you didn't lock into a Montero contract and an Abreu contract. Yeah. And I also think it's kind of funny that the year that you have a GM, you don't really make any moves. And then the year you didn't have a GM, you made all these moves. Right?
Didn't think about that, but you're absolutely right. And I think you are going to improve. Like you said, the pitching staff regressed. How about if they get better?
Yeah.
We know that Javier is better than he was. We know Hunter Brown could be better than he was. We got the emergence of a JP France, and he might be better than he was. I'm okay with this offseason. I know a lot of people are crazy. Then the usual suspects, 2 teams in the American League that are ahead of them are the Rangers and the Orioles. Okay, the Rangers have made, and oh, by the way, they're going to get Scherzer back, and so they're going to be really, really good. We'll see. If everybody is healthy for the Rangers, which doesn't seem to happen. But I can see that, and you know what? I don't care. They're getting back to the ALCS. It's what the Astros do. There's a lot of debate going around about how long this window is. I think it's still open.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the odds that they're going to crack the top 10 next year? I think Altuve is going to be re-signed. I think that goes without saying. I hope that goes without saying. But if they lose Bregman, let's say, you think they're still back in the top 10 next year?
I think if they are in the top 10, it means they made the postseason. So I think that's pretty much a lock. I think it depends on how Bregman plays. That's going to be a big part of it too, and this is driven by the media, right? And Bregman's a big name, so if he has a really nice season and he walks, maybe the media thinks that's a big enough loss to knock them out of the top 10. But it also depends on Verlander. If he cracks 140 innings this year, then that means his option vests for next year. So if Verlander is good this year and cracks that number, you have him coming back. And I think it depends on Fromber and Javier. How do they look this upcoming season?
Absolutely. No, I think you're right about all of those things. And you know what? They're not going to just stand pat. They're going to replace Bregman.
Right.
Yeah, and they're going to have some money to do it. They're up against the CBT right now, but will they be up against the CBT next year? We shall see. I mean, Tucker is going to make some more money than he was in the last year of his arbitration, but they could go out and actually do something next offseason where their hands were tied this offseason. And we don't know. Is Bregman going to be that guy again, and how long is that going to happen? I think, other than Garrett Cole maybe, I think they've made a lot of the right decisions about letting guys go.
I do too. You look at Springer's numbers, you can argue McCormick was better than him last year. So I think they have in general. What's interesting to me though, John, is if they do somehow miss the playoffs next year, how will Jim Crane approach it? Will he throw more assets at it to get him back to that level, or will they kind of be a little more conservative and play the long game?
Yeah, that'll be. He doesn't play the long game, so I'm going to go conservative.